what are your expectations? What do you think the roles of a man in a marriage should be?
Speak the vision, make it plain,
Uh-huh.
so that I can follow.
But the woman is thinking, you're taking too long to decide. So let me make the decision for you.
Yeah.
We need the bed, so I'm buying it.
You would have agreed before you actually went out to the shop.
Mhm.
It's just communication. That's where the problem is.
Hello, welcome again to our channel. Welcome to our YouTube channel, Let's Talk Marriage, the podcast. We're dealing with all things marriages. We're on episode 6 of our episodes, and what you're doing. We thank you for subscribing. We thank you for tuning in, and we pray that you're going to be blessed in everything that you do as you watch this. Someone out there will be blessed, and we promise you to bring you guests. We got my friend again, Rose. She's joined me again the second time to talk about roles of a husband in a marriage. Welcome, Rose. Good to see you again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Yeah.
Thank you.
Right. We before we talked about the role of a wife in a marriage. So now you're going to talk about the role of a husband in a marriage. I know that's more the man's side to talk about, but I'm sure you'll have a lot of input into the roles of a man in a marriage. So in your view, just tell me in a nutshell, what are your expectations? What do you think the roles of a man in a marriage should be?
I believe from a biblical perspective, the man is the priest of the home.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, the man is the head of the home. So he's the one who leads, and he's the one who shares the vision for the family, the marriage, and takes the lead, basically, and then the wife obviously supports.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe he's the spiritual head of the home.
Mm-hmm. So, and what happens if the man doesn't take the mantle to be the spiritual leader, the leader of the house?
Well, that causes a disorder.
So does it mean that the wife will now take on the role, or what?
Well, in some instances, the wife may automatically have to assume the role if the husband is not taking the lead. The wife may have to take the lead.
Mm-hmm.
It does happen in some marriages where the woman, you find that they're the ones who kind of lead and take the lead because the man is not taking the lead, or doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm. So apart from leadership, what else do you think are the roles of a man in a marriage?
To provide, obviously, for the family. The man's role is also to provide for the family, to make sure that there's a roof over their head. There's and basic amenities are met, basically. But it's just to provide for the family.
Okay, so just provision, is that what the man is there for?
No. Of course, they're not there for provision, but it's because you asked me what are they supposed to do. They're meant to make sure that they provide for their family.
How about security?
And security, yes, definitely. Yeah, it's women. As women, we like to feel secure. We like to feel financially secure as well. You want to feel, you've been provided for, even though obviously we work, most of us work, but you have that kind of financial security, assuming you are not, maybe you have children and you're not able to carry on working as you would, then you want that financial security to know that obviously the man will still be able to provide when the children come, because especially in these Western countries, people have to obviously take time off work. Some people take a year off work just to look after kids, because it works out being more expensive to take the children into nursery and care. Mm-hmm. So it works out cheaper if the wife just stays at home. So in that respect, obviously, a wife would want to feel that they will still be provided for. And when I say provided for, at least the roof over their head and, basic things like bills and food catered for.
So is it just financial security then? I mean, what kind of, I thought security is more diverse. Would you look at it just as financial security, or is it more? I mean, when you get into a marriage, you want to feel secure. It's not just financial, is it?
Yeah. No, it's not just financial, obviously. But
secure in more in the plans. I think more How about the plans that you make? You want to feel that the man is there to give you the security that whatever plans you make, you're going to follow through. You're going to, that you're going to take them to the end. You're going to, there's someone there that you're married to them, and you're not just, you can look up to, not someone just can't come and mess with you as Rose. You got your husband who is giving you that security.
Yeah, I know. Yes, that's true. That's true. As a woman, you feel okay. You can confidently tell somebody, oh, I'm sorry, I'm married to this man who looks after me. And basically, so there's, I guess is that the security you're talking about? Apart from the financial bit, you're married to somebody else, obviously. Yeah.
Okay. So what other roles do you think a man should? How about, say the leadership, isn't it? Leadership is leading the home or leading you as a woman, making sure that you.
No, it's leading the home, obviously leading the woman as well, because he's the one who come up with a vision for the home, for the family. So it's leading the home, the wife, everything. Taking the lead. Yeah.
How about spiritually? What do you think? Is that the man's role too?
Well, as I said, he's the priest of the home. So when I say spiritually, this may not apply to everybody, but from a Christian perspective, if the man is the priest of the home, then they lead in spiritual matters, like where the family maybe prays together. They take the lead. They ensure these things continue to happen. That's what I'm talking about. But this may not apply to every marriage. This applies to a Christian marriage where the man is the priest of the home.
So what other roles do you think a man should take on as the, in your experience, is there any other thing a man is expected to do? Or what is it like, what? Paying the bills, is that the man's roles, or is it?
Not. I said this is only if when the children come and the wife is not working. Obviously, somebody will need to take the lead and take the responsibility, basically. But it doesn't mean that's the man's role, unless he wants to do it. Because there are men who are in a position where they can be able to take care of everything. Pay the bills, pay the mortgage or whatever house, do practically everything, and they're financially able to do that. But not all men are financially able to do that. So we cannot say that is the role of the man. That's where the wife comes in as a helpmate to be able to help the man with other responsibilities. So they can't be expected to do everything. I think the major role or responsibility of the man is as the head of the home. To lead the family. That's the major responsibility. All the other responsibilities, I believe, is just a matter of working together and helping each other. And that's why the wife is there, to be a helpmate to the husband, but he remains the head of the home.
So what happens if the man hasn't got a vision? Do you find that as man who hasn't got direction? Or would you ask the man, what is your vision? And if they haven't got a vision, would you provide something for them to work towards?
That shouldn't really happen, because when God made man the lead, the head of the home, God is able to give that man a vision. I don't think there's such a thing as the man doesn't have a vision. Every man, as the head of the home, as the lead, would have a vision.
Right. Okay. I'll tell you why I say that. I know of a couple who every time they got married, and they've been married for quite a long time, 14 years actually, 15 years. And as long as they kind of split the bills in the middle, 50-50. So you find that if it's the amenities, they're all paid for, everything's done. So after that is done, then whatever is left, the wife has her money and the husband has his money. So he lives by the day. He doesn't want to do projects, he doesn't want to do stuff to better themselves. And as you grow older, you want to feel that you're going to retire, you're going to stop all this hard work, you're going to go, maybe you're going to have a house somewhere which is going to call your holiday home, retirement home, whatever you want to call it, and you're going to build that together. That's where you're going to go. You don't want to be living off your children, really, because a lot of people end up doing that. So this man hasn't got a vision as to where we're going when we retire, what we need to do, how we need to save money. So all the money he has, he spends it. As long as the bills have been paid, as long as everything's done in the house, don't ask me as a man to do anything else. I've done everything I need to do as a man, and So what would you say to that? I don't think that's a man who's got a vision, and I know a few people who are like that.
And I think that's where a wise woman comes in, where she obviously will try and kind of suggest things to help the family move forward. Some men need that kind of a woman to kind of not take the lead, still remember that man is still the head of the home, but you can make suggestions that the man will agree with, and as long as both of them are in agreement, that tends to work as well. So this happens as well. I've heard of cases like that where maybe the man, doesn't have a vision, even though he's meant to be the visionary, but that's where the woman comes in to help.
So would you not get worried if you're in the situation like that? And what would you do? Like you're saying,
not necessarily, because as long as you understand your husband and you know who you're dealing with, then it shouldn't be a concern, and that's why that woman is there.
So you take the lead?
To be able to not take the lead, just help steer him into the right direction. I like what the late Bishop Eddie Long said. He said, men are like cars, women are starters. If you don't start a car, it will not go anywhere. So sometimes those kinds of men probably need a woman who will start them up so that they can move. That doesn't mean that the woman will take the lead. She's just helping that man move. So one has to realize what kind of a man they're married to. And as long as that man is in agreement with what you both want to do, then that's fine. Because at the end of the day, apart from the two who know what's going on in the home, people out there don't know that. They all they see is the good results. So it's just a case of understanding who you are with, but also remembering that, hey, I may have come up with this idea, but this still remains the head of the home.
But what if you suggest things, you as a woman, and then this man, because I know there's a case like, similar case, actually the same case, where the man doesn't want to do anything much, as long as he's paid the bills, he's done all the things, the food in the house, well, it's all looked after. And then the woman is suggesting, let's do this, let's do that. And then the guy says no, I don't want to do it. And then the woman goes ahead and does it, whatever she feels that she needs to do. And then the guy says, oh, okay, why are you asking me? You're going to do it anyway. Or you're the one who does it anyway. You're the one who says. You're the one who's got this. You have the say in the house. So why would the man say that? Is it because the woman is making him feel inferior? That, that she can go and do it herself anyway, regardless of whether the man's going to be on board or not?
The question is, why would the man refuse if she's suggesting things which are going to building their home? Why would he refuse? There must be a reason why he's refusing. Why isn't he in agreement with what she's suggesting? If it's to progress them, if it's for progression, why would he refuse? That's what I
It
would
is.
like.
I don't know. Maybe he's just not that kind of man who wants to do things. I don't know. There's a few men who are like that who don't really.
They don't want to progress.
Yeah. Well, it's not they don't want to, but they just
Mhm.
want to live by the day. They're satisfied in in little things. There's people who are satisfied
Yeah.
in little,
Yeah.
so they don't think outside. Or let's go and buy that big car.
Yeah.
Let's go and buy that big house. They're happy to have that small house, paying that mortgage for 25 years. And,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? There's people who are satisfied in little. They don't necessarily don't want to, but they just feel like, why should we go and buy another one? We got this one.
I believe if this woman is doing whatever she's doing for the benefit of the home, the family, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If it's not for her own selfish gains, but she's actually doing it and then even informing him, hey, I did this is for us, then I think that's fine. If it's for the benefit of the family, that's fine. As long as it's not for her own selfish gains. I believe that's fine.
So what happens when the man doesn't take up his role in the family? I mean, I don't know if I've asked that already. So
In what respect?
bills are late
Mm-hmm.
to be paid. He won't take the kids to football.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a manly thing to do, I think most of
Yeah.
the time that's a kind of manly thing to do. He's always short on rent, for instance.
Yeah.
He doesn't lead you spiritually as a wife. So what do you do as a wife? Do you take up the mantle and decide, what? It doesn't matter if you don't want to do it, I'm going to do it myself.
Things like bills, they're not the man's responsibility. If he's providing the money to pay the bills, I'm assuming that the wife is not working, then the wife can decide to take on the role of paying the bills, because maybe he's forgotten, or it could be anything, but it's not his responsibility to pay the bills. It's the responsibility of the husband and wife to make sure that the bills are paid. But if the wife is not working, then she can and nowadays what we can do is we do things like direct debit. So there's no reason why you wouldn't pay bills if it's going to come out from an account that has money. So things like those can easily be arranged. Things like taking kids to football, is it because he forgets or he can't be bothered? But those are things, if the woman is at home and maybe she's not working, or she's working from home and she's able to do those things, these are the roles that can be divided between the husband and wife. And people can help one another. It's not specifically for the man or the woman. It just depends on their circumstances.
So, okay, I don't know, but this guy who lost his job and the woman has this high paid job, and the guy wanted, the lady was, she's actually a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted to defend this case, and this money was going to make them a lot of money, obviously. But for the lady defending this, taking on this work, it was going to be a conflict of interest. And the husband said to the woman, I'm asking you not to do it. Don't do this because of a conflict of interest. And the woman came up and she said, look, you lost your job, right? Here are the bills. Pay this bill, pay this bill, pay that. Well, you can't pay them. So I'm going to have to take on this job because we need these bills paid, as opposed to your what you think is a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think that was unreasonable for the woman to do, or do you think she should have respected what the man?
I think given on the circumstances, he's lost his job. There's no income. She's got this job that is going to pay her well, and obviously that means it's going to take care of the bills. I don't think she made the wrong decision.
The man didn't feel. You don't think the man is being disrespected by?
She informed him. If she had gone behind his back and just done it, then that's disrespectful. But if she had let him know, at least he was aware. It's not like he was not aware. It's tricky because then it means don't take the job, there's no money, how are the bills going to get paid? Or did he have an option to pay the bills if she didn't take that job?
No, I didn't have an option, but it's one of those. It's not an ego thing, but it's a thing of feeling like you're taking my manhood away, because I'm trying to tell you that I don't want us to do this, despite the fact that I've lost my job.
Yeah.
Due to whatever reasons, but because you're able to do it, you're just going to override my decision, what I'm asking you not to, and go and do it anyway.
And he was not in agreement.
It was not in agreement. So does that not constitute of being disrespectful, regardless of whether you know about it as a woman and you know about it, you've informed the man and he knows that you're going to do it. It's even worse because you're informing you're going to do it anyway, regardless of what I think about it.
That's very, very tricky. It's very tricky. It's very tricky. I think it would depend on the person. It's tricky. It's tricky because obviously you don't want to go ahead and do it and then
causes friction.
Yeah, it causes friction in the home. Could cause issues in the home. You don't want that. Maybe it's. I guess sometimes it's better to walk away.
Yeah.
And for the sake of peace, basically, better to walk away for the sake of peace.
I'll give you another scenario. Actually, I know of two scenarios, two different scenarios, where there's one where there's this man in the marriage and he wasn't able to provide X amount of money for the wife to do something.
Yeah.
And he's already told the wife, I can't do such and such. So the wife decides now, because she can't do it, she'll go and ask for money from someone else. Behind the man's back. And actually she went to the man's friend and said, look, I need money for this, we need money for this, can you help? The man who's being asked, in his wisdom, goes to the guy now and says, look, your wife has come to me and she's asking me for money for this, or for money, X amount of money. I'm going to lend her the money, but it's you I'm going to ask you to pay me back, because I'm not going to go to your wife. First, the woman has gone to another man to ask for money. And the man has agreed in his wisdom, or foolishness, let's say, to lend the woman. And then he's come to the man who in question and asked, I'm going to lend your wife some money, but you're going to pay me. I mean, how do you look at that scenario? What do you think?
First of all, what the wife did was rather disrespectful. Going behind her husband's back and then going to ask the friend for money. That is really disrespectful. She should not have done that.
But it's money they needed, though.
Still, that's not the way to do it. She should have let the husband go to the friend and ask for the money. She should have left that to him and not taken the initiative, especially going behind his back and she's going to the friend. That was quite disrespectful. I'm sure there are better ways of handling things like that and getting some money when people are in agreement. That was not... I don't think that was a wise decision. And that guy made a wise decision by consulting the husband. At least he didn't do things behind the husband's back. So
do you think in this case the man who was asked, do you think he should have agreed? I don't know, I'm not going to tell you what the man said. But
he should have agreed
to let the man lend the money and then he pays back, given that the wife had asked.
He doesn't have an obligation to agree. He was not in agreement in the first place. So even if he said he's not going to pay back the money, the wife went behind his back. So there's no obligation for him to pay back that money. Yeah, I think what the wife did was wrong. She shouldn't have done that in the first place.
I got another scenario where there's a different man, he couldn't pay X amount of money for rent. And then he said to the wife, we can't afford this, so we're not going to do it. And then the wife decides to go to one of the relatives to ask for the money.
Her relatives?
And the relative say, yeah, come, I'll give you the money anyway. And then the husband gets to find out that she went to the relative to ask for the money. Behind his back. So what do you think? How would you react in that situation if you're the man?
So the man could not pay the rent.
And then he said to the wife, look, we can't afford rent. It's not rent for the house, it's rent for something that we need to do.
Yeah.
And they say, we can't afford it, so we're not doing it. So the wife decides, okay, we can't afford it, let me go and find money elsewhere. Which is fine, I don't know. Is it fine, really? Okay. Maybe not, but your views. And then he goes to the relatives and asks one of the brothers, can you give me money for this? And the brother said, yes, I will give you the money. But now the husband gets to find out what the wife did.
Yeah.
What do you think the man should do? How do you think the man should react? What do you think?
Well, I think that's another disrespect. Why did she go behind his back? The husband has told her we can't do it. She should have settled at that. And not gone to ask for money because he said they can't do it, right? Because they don't have the money. Did she ask him whether she can go and borrow money?
She's just trying to do what's right, isn't she? I mean, when I say what's right, she's probably trying to fill in that hole of we haven't got the money. So if there's somebody who's giving me the money, and maybe I don't have to pay it back.
Yeah.
And we can do X, Y, Z.
I think had she just informed him, okay, we don't have the money. Do you mind if I go and ask so and so relative, or do you mind? I think she should have asked him, and then he probably would have said yes or no. But at least it would have been better if she had informed him rather than just going ahead and doing it. Yeah, I think she should have. That's where communication comes in. These are the things that cause misunderstandings, which are quite unnecessary, and simply because someone did not communicate. So it's important that we communicate with each other. No matter how little you think or you don't think it's a major thing, I think it's important to just communicate.
And do you not think then that maybe the problem with communication here is because the husband feels like he doesn't want to feel inferior. He can't do a certain thing. That's why he finds it difficult to communicate, because he doesn't know how he's going to tell you, how you're going to take it, your reaction, that you can't do X, Y, Z. So do you not think that that's... Okay. I'll tell you something. I'll tell you one thing. We've gone off to buy a bed. Me and my wife, we've gone off to buy a bed, and she's and we've gone and seen this bed, and it's quite expensive, and I've said no, we can't afford it, and then she says well, we need the bed, which we clearly do need the bed anyway, and she says no, we just can't afford it, and she goes, don't worry, I'll pay for it then. And she takes our card and pays for the bed. I didn't know she had the money. But I knew we couldn't afford the bed.
Yeah.
So she pays for the bed. After she's paid for the bed, a few days later, to me that's one mistake anyway. So probably I'll need you to come in on this.
Yeah.
Well, that's one mistake. And then after she's paid for the bed, a few days later, we have an argument in the house. In the middle of the argument, after the argument has ended, she goes, by the way, I need half the money for the bed that we bought. Because we're going 50-50, isn't it? I did say I didn't have. I said before it's expensive. We can't afford it.
Yeah.
But she's gone and bought the bed without me agreeing to it.
Yeah.
And then a few days later, we had an argument, and she says to me, "I need half the money for the bed," which I don't have anyway because I didn't have. Okay, so that's two mistakes. So your views?
Obviously, what she did, she shouldn't have done. If she paid for the bed, you were together, right?
Yes.
Okay, she paid for the bed. She should not have asked you for half the money after that. Unless you had, like before she paid, she would have said to you, okay, I've got some money, I can pay for it. Will you give me half the money? That should have been agreed upon before the bed was paid for. But to pay, then come back to you later and say, give me half the money, I don't think that was appropriate. That should have been addressed from the very beginning.
Yeah, but when do you address it? It's a heat of the moment, and
Well, before you pay, you just you don't call you aside.
yeah, but you
Hey,
got all this, you got this salesman, and what they do, they want to sell you the whole shop. Forget
no,
about what
not
the
really.
bed.
You can tell them, excuse me, can we just have a word? They do allow that. They
Yeah.
don't pressurize you to the point you can't even make a decision. They of course they're selling. They're there to make a sell, but they don't push you to buy. Yeah. So you still have. I've been in a situation like that, and I know that you can tell them, give me time. You push you aside. Hey, then you come to an agreement. Yeah.
So do you think then that one, the wife is disrespecting the man, maybe, or if you look at it the other way, maybe the wife is okay, the man thinks the wife is disrespecting him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the woman is thinking, you're taking too long to decide. So let me make the decision for you.
Yeah.
We need the bed, so I'm buying it. You'll take too long to think about whether we need the bed or not, and we already said we need the bed. So where do you learn this?
I think in the first instance, before you went to buy that bed, you would have discussed it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's something that should really have been discussed from home. Like, you know what, we are going to look at a bed. What do you think? Then you would have said, probably, you haven't got the money. And then she would have said, I have X amount of money. You would have agreed before you actually went out to the shop. It's just communication. That's where the problem is. People don't communicate. Once there's proper communication, there wouldn't be so many marital issues. Yeah, it's just communication. Because I believe perhaps maybe had she said, I've got the money, I'll pay for it, and can you pay half of it, you probably wouldn't have said, you would have probably agreed to that if there was communication. So I think it's important to just try and communicate. Yeah.
So what do you think the man should have done in this case? Just when you get, what do you mean he should have done? Should he have said, no, we're not buying the bed even though you want to buy, or forget about the bit of, oh, I'll give you half later, because the man wasn't expecting that to be brought up.
Yeah.
So do you think that the man should have said, no, we're not buying this bed because we don't have the money, or just have let the woman take the lead anyway?
I think what she did, there was nothing wrong with what she did, because she's buying. I mean, in terms of, as long as you had if she had communicated to you, there's no problem with her paying for the bed. If she has communicated to you, the problem there was there was no communication. So as long as she communicates, you would probably have been in agreement. But had you said no, then that's a different ball game. She should have communicated to you. And would you have minded a new bed? I'm sure not. Who wouldn't want a new bed?
I just feel because if you said to me that the man is a spiritual leader, or the man is the leader of the house, and he should take the lead, and he should you should let him be the man in making the decisions. So if I've said to you, no, we don't have money to buy that bed, I think that should be the end of the story. I don't need another discussion of how you're going to pay for the bed, which you don't have them, and where is this money coming from that you have that I didn't know about? Status. Or the lady who decided she's going to take on the case anyway, regardless of whether
the husband agrees
with it or not. So I don't know. I think it's if I'm the spiritual head, if I'm the spiritual leader, it's not like I'm imposing, but if it's something that I think, if we've agreed, this is it, then we'll be like, okay, honey, we don't have money, maybe we'll buy another time, or we'll do something else. Then you don't go over me and decide we're going to pay for the bed anyway.
But and that's why I say that there's ways around it when you communicate. Perhaps had she communicated to you, you would have come around to thinking, actually, let's get the bed. It's communication. It just depends on how the communication goes. So that's really important. Because the man is the head, but there is a way a woman can communicate to that man. Even if he didn't want to buy a bed or buy something, you end up doing it because of the manner in which the woman has communicated to him. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. So what else do you think is? How else do you think men fail in their roles as husbands? I mean, apart from not looking after the house, I don't know. Do you think there's other ways that men fail in that aspect of being the leader? Is there other ways that men fail in their role as the man of the house and they don't? Okay, because like if you're my wife and I'm leading you, how do you want me to lead you?
I think I would expect you to take the lead in like major decisions. And as I say, as the leader and the visionary of the home, just tell us where we are, what direction we are heading. Speak the vision, make it plain, so that I can follow.
Yeah, I know. That's so easy to say because
give me a plan,
yeah,
and then we can work.
What if I don't have a plan? Because you asked me that, I asked you earlier, and you said we all have a plan. But that's not true. I don't know. I might not have need a plan. You might have a plan. You want to go to school and study.
Yeah.
Well, that's not my plan. I don't want to go to school and study.
Yeah.
You going to school and studying is more for your benefit, and not in the long run.
Yeah.
You will have more money.
Yeah.
We'll make more money and so on. But it is yours. It is your knowledge. You're the one studying, not me.
Yeah.
So I don't have that plan. But you have a plan. You want to study or you want to do X, Y, Z. But I don't have a plan. So if I don't have a plan, then are you going to come up with a plan? Are you going to be the one not to be the visionary? Because I did ask that before. Do you think that if the man fails?
Well, as I said now, it just depends. Like you give me this example of that lady who she wanted them to probably do a project together, and the husband didn't seem to be for it.
Yeah, wasn't on board with it.
Wasn't on board with it, but I just said, well, as long as she kind of informed him and went ahead and did something that is for the benefit of the family, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because there are those kind of people. I mean, people are different. It's not all men who wake up, I want to be the president, or I want to be this. Not everybody. Not all men are like that. Some are very, very different. So I think it's just a case of understanding who a wife is married to, understanding their man, and then knowing ways of kind of how to deal with them. Yeah, it's just understanding who you're married to, because they're not all Obamas.
Yeah.
They're not all like that. Yeah, so it's just understanding. And I believe behind the scenes, Michelle really supported her husband to be. I'm sure he came with the vision. He had the vision, but he definitely needed a lot of her support to be able to,
to carry forward,
the vision and see it come to fruition.
That's
so
true.
it's just understanding the man that somebody is married to. Yeah.
Okay.
And communication.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Thank
You're
you for your
welcome.
time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for your views. We love you again. We'll talk a lot more on marriages and on roles of husband and wife, and and other and more besides. So I hope you can join us. We'll invite you again.
Thank you very much.
And thank you so much.
Yeah,
God
thanks
bless
for
you.
having me. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. Like, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.